Hey folks, if you take any time at all to observe the nature of life, one of the things you are bound to learn is that humanity exists in cycles. Our civilization has a deep and long standing tendency to go through peaks and valleys. In the past 4 or 5 years, for example, we've lived with a general spirit of nihilism, hopelessness, and creeping authoritarianism. But things are happening now that are shaking up much of the established order, and I believe that most reasonable people are starting to feel hopeful again. I'm talking about this because I hope that this cultural shift that we are seeing will have a positive effect on the kind of entertainment that is going to be produced. One of the established orders that is being shaken up is the mainstream or traditional entertainment complex. Have you ever noticed that in this day and age, there's really no such thing as a movie star like there was 10 or 20 years ago? All the new faces that I see in big budget Hollywood films are rather forgettable. And as somebody who used to actively follow the movie industry and be able to tell you who was in movies, what the movies were about, all sorts of things, because that kind of entertainment was central to my life, as a way of coping with my quadriplegic cerebral palsy. These days, I can tell you almost nothing about big budget Hollywood films because I simply don't care. And I am not the first to point this out, and I certainly won't be the last. But one of the reasons I no longer have any emotional investment in Hollywood films is that what we get these days is just an endless sequence of remakes, spin-offs, and reimaginings. And frankly, I know for a fact, many other people have become bored to death with the same old thing being trotted out over and over again. So one of the things I hope as time moves on now in this kind of changing and shifting era that we find ourselves in, one of my hopes is that we begin to get news stories again. We begin to see people with genuine creative talent at the helm of projects that will stand the test of time like movies used to. I want to see movies again that I would be happy to watch 10, 15, 20 times without ever getting bored of them, like I used to back a few years ago. We should be able to create things that have more value than just wasting an hour and a half and then forgetting that the thing you just saw ever existed at all. And that's what I hope we will see in the near future. Because entertainment and what it says about us as a species is actually very important, because one of the things about humans is that although we like to think of ourselves as logical and rational, we aren't nearly as logical or rational as we would hope that we were. The fact is that, for the most part, how we perceive life is through narrative and story. That is why the stories that our cultures tell are so important. And it's also why some stories are able to last hundreds and thousands of years, while others are forgotten as soon as they end. I want to see culture being created that is enduring, strong, and meaningful. And so that's what I hope we'll get soon enough. That's all I've got to say about that. Look after yourselves, take care of each other, and for now, farewell.